Good day to you all. My name is Dr. J. Jayakrishna, working as Professor and Head, Department of EEE, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. In this online class, we will discuss about electrical and electronics instrumentation subject, in which we will discuss signals and their representation. Normally, these signals are used in instrumentation. And here we will discuss standard test signals, periodic and aperiodic signals, sampled data, pulse modulation, pulse code modulation. Then coming to standard test input signals. These standard test input signals are used for obtaining dynamic response of a system. Before manufacturing an instrument, we will obtain mathematical model of the instrument. For that mathematical model, these standard test signals are applied and dynamic response will be obtained. From the dynamic response, we can study the dynamic characteristics of the instrument. So normal test signals are step signal, ramp signal, parabolic signal and impulse signal. First, coming to step signal, as its name indicates, at zero value of time, at zero time, it will have it jumps from zero value to some value, arbitrary value, and continues constantly from that time onwards. So at t is equal to 0, it will have some amplitude, and after t is greater than 0 or less than 0, it will have 0 value. So it has a step value. When its amplitude is equal to 1, a is equal to 1, then it is called unit step signal. And if we derivate this signal, we will get impulse function. That is, impulse function means a function which will have infinite value at t is equal to 0, and for all time t greater than 0 or less than 0, its amplitude equals to 0. Here also, for the step signal, if you derivate at t is equal to 0, its value varies from 0 to a. So change in value is 0 to a and change in time is 0. So d by dt of this function is some a divided by 0. So something by 0 is equal to infinity. So at t is equal to 0, its value is infinity, and after t is greater than 0, its value is 0. So the derivative of this standard step signal is an impulse function. Then coming to ramp signal, this ramp signal increases proportionately with time. So proportionately its value will increase with time, and it is similar to the function of velocity for which the system responds, like that it will denote. So when a is equal to 1, this signal is called unit ramp signal. Then coming to parabolic signal, it will have square proportionate. So it varies with square proportionate with time, and this function can be represented as p of t is equal to at squared by 2 at t greater than or equal to 0, and at t is equal to 0, its value is 0. When a is equal to 1, this signal is called unit parabolic signal. Then coming to impulse function. So as I told you, impulse function is nothing but a function which will have infinite value at t is equal to 0, and remaining all t, its value is 0. It will be as shown in the figure. At t is equal to 0 only, it will have infinite value. And practically, it is not possible to generate this impulse function. Normally, unit impulse function will be generated. That unit impulse function is nothing but, we will consider a strip parallel to y-axis whose area is equal to 1. So if the area of the strip, rectangular strip parallel to y-axis is equal to 1, then we will call it as unit impulse function. Then other classification of the signals is periodic signal and aperiodic signal. So first, coming to periodic signal, if any continuous waveform repeats itself in regular intervals of time, then it is known as periodic signal. So like sinusoidal waveform, it is a continuous waveform and varies continuously with time, and it repeats itself in regular intervals of time. So sinusoidal signal is the best example for periodic signal, and it has also to satisfy the following mathematical equation: x of t is equal to x of t plus capital T naught, and T naught is a positive constant, and this small T naught is called fundamental period of the waveform. Inverse of this fundamental time period is known as fundamental frequency. So this sinusoidal waveform and the triangular waveforms are examples for this periodic signal. Then coming to aperiodic signal, this signal, the signal which is not periodic is called aperiodic or non-periodic signal. So it is reverse to the periodic signal. It will not repeat at equal intervals of time. On both negative side and positive side, it will not repeat. So such signal is known as a periodic signal, and it will not satisfy this x of t is equal to x of t plus t naught also. It will not satisfy. Then coming to sampled data, for transmitting signals, analog continuous signals, instead of transmitting analog continuous signals, we will make them as samples. That is, x-axis of the waveform will be divided into equal time intervals, t1, t2, t3, like this up to tn. Equal time intervals it is divided. At each time interval, magnitude of waveform will be measured. So that is called as sample at t1. Next, here magnitude is measured. This is, let's suppose this is t2. Sample at t2. Let's suppose its magnitude is x2. So at t1, its sample value is x1. At t2, sample value is x2. At t3, sample value is x3. Like that, at different intervals, sample values are measured, and these will be represented as pulses. This is known as sampled pulses, sampled data. Normally these pulses will be transmitted to larger distances using modulation techniques. Then going to modulation, once analog signal is converted into pulses, then these pulses can be transmitted using different modulation techniques. So these modulation techniques includes sampling of analog signal into samples, then converting those sample values into discrete pulses. So x1, I told you, at t1 value, at t1 time period, its value is x1. That x1 value will be converted into pulses based on its magnitude. Then transporting these pulses from source to the destination with physical transmission system. So there are 5 types of pulse modulation techniques. One is pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation, pulse amplitude modulation, pulse code modulation, and final one is pulse frequency modulation. Pulse frequency modulation. Then if you see this diagram, so this is A is the analog signal which is to be transmitted. So first it will be a carrier signal will be taken. This is carrier pulse train. This is carrier. Second one is B is carrier pulse train. Then modulation will be done. Modulation is nothing but modifying the parameters of carrier pulses according to the parameters of analog signal is known as modulation. If magnitude of, that is width of these pulses, carrier pulses are changed in proportional to the amplitude of information signal, then it is known as pulse width modulation. So pulse width modulation means at the time of sampling, width of the pulse is varied in proportional to the amplitude of analog signal. So if amplitude of analog signal is less, width of pulse will be less. Only width will vary. Only width of pulse will vary. Pulse height or pulse magnitude will not vary. only width of pulse will vary in pulse width modulation. So at the time of sampling, the width of pulse is varies proportional to the amplitude of analog signal. If the amplitude of analog signal is maximum, width of the pulse will be maximum. If the amplitude of analog signal is minimum, less, then width of the pulse is less. This can be observed in the waveform. So in C waveform, here it is having, at this instant, the analog signal is having zero amplitude. So width of pulse is this much at 0 amplitude. So here width of magnitude of analog signal is increasing from 0 to Vmax. Therefore, width of the pulse is also increasing to this much. Here again it is reaching 0 at this instant. So width of pulse is restored to this value. Width of pulse is same as here also 0, here also 0. So width of pulse is normal. Here magnitude of analog signal is negative. Therefore, width of pulse is reduced. Here width of pulse is reduced from 0. So if its value is 0, this is the width of pulse. If its value is negative, its width decreases. So width of pulse is directly proportional to magnitude of this information signal at that instant. This is in pulse width modulation. Next one is pulse position modulation. In pulse position modulation, position of pulse is varied in accordance with the amplitude of input signal, amplitude of information signal. So if you observe this waveform, D, this is pulse position modulation. So when amplitude is 0, its position changed from, this is the original pulse signal. It is the position of first pulse. But here it is having 0, so its position is changed to this one. Here its magnitude of analog signal is maximum Vmax. Therefore, its position should start from here, but because its magnitude is high, it is changed, it is moved to this position. So its position is moved to the right. So if amplitude is high, its position will be moved to the right. If amplitude is less, its position will be moved to left. So again here it is 0. When it is 0, it will be at this distance. And here it is negative. Vmax is, V is voltage is negative analog signal. So its position is moved backwards when compared to 0 value. So that is about pulse position modulation. Next one is pulse amplitude modulation. In pulse amplitude modulation, amplitude of each pulse will be proportional to the amplitude of information signal at that instant. So if you observe this in the waveform E, here the amplitude of sinusoidal signal is 0. So it is the amplitude at 0. It is the amplitude of pulse at 0. When the amplitude of pulse is increasing to Vmax at this instant, its value is increased to, its height is also increased. Pulse amplitude also increased to this value. And here again it is reached 0. V is reached 0. Therefore, its value is same as at this 0. Next, here it is negative value. Voltage is negative Vmax. Therefore, its pulse height, pulse amplitude is reduced from 0 value to this value. Thus, the amplitude of these pulses is proportional to amplitude of information signal. So, the tips of these pulses will resemble the shape of this analog information signal. So, if you join all the tips of these pulses, you will get similar shape to this one. Next one is pulse frequency modulation. In pulse frequency modulation, frequency of pulses will be changed in proportional to amplitude of information signal. Then coming to pulse code modulation. This pulse code modulation is also known as digital modulation. This is most frequently used because of it has more advantages because it uses digital data. So digital data can be easily transmitted and there is no errors in transmitting the data. Noise error will be very less. Therefore digital data will be digital communication or digital modulation or pulse code modulation will be used in more number of applications. So in PCM, as usual, analog information signal will become sampled and at that is x-axis of the information signal will be divided into equal number of intervals, n equal number of intervals. At each interval, the magnitude of information signal will be measured and it is known as sample. And the sample value at each instant will be rounded off to quanta. Its magnitude will be rounded off, and on the y-axis as usual instead of taking units they will specify as quanta. Magnitude of signal is represented by quanta. So samples, for each sample there will be quanta value, and this quanta value at t1 its quanta value means its amplitude is this much x1. At t2 its amplitude or quanta value is x2, like that they will be noted. Then this x1 number, x2 number all will be converted into binary form, digital form. Then digital form means it will have zeros and ones. Then according to this binary data, at t1 you will get some binary digits for binary bits. According to these binary bits, pulses will be again generated. So when 1 is there, pulse will generate. When 0 is there, no pulse will be there. Like that, this binary data will be converted into pulses, and these pulses will be transmitted through physical lines. And at the receiving end, again from these binary pulses, quanta will be recalculated, and from this again the waveform will be reconstructed. This will be done using pulse code modulation using this block diagram. So input signal is applied here, analog information signal, which is to be transmitted to receiving end. So it changes the frequency, limits the frequency. Band pass filter limits the frequency to between 300 to 3000 Hz based on its rating. Then this sample and hold circuit makes the samples at different intervals, t1, t2, like that. Then at each time period t1, t2, t3, samples values will be taken. These samples value will be applied to analog to digital converter. It will convert these analog values into digital data, and this digital data will be converted applied to parallel to serial converter. It will convert this digital data into binary zeros and ones and transmit it through the line. At the middle of the transmission line, regenerative repeaters will be there to introduce digital pulses. Then at the receiving end, again all binary data will be taken, and again digital to analog converter will be there, which converts this digital data into analog values. From this analog values, again waveform will be reconstructed. So this will happen all this in the pulse code modulation technique, and the information signal will be transmitted from sending end to receiving end. Thank you very much.